You have spent years learning how to move a room. You know the pacing. You know the moment that makes a VP lean forward. You know which features to open with, which proof point to save for the close, and how to read a room well enough to adjust mid-flight. That craft is real. It took years to develop. And sometime in the last 18 months, the most important reader of your demo stopped being the person in the room. Forrester ran the numbers across nearly 18,000 business buyers. 94% now use AI somewhere in their buying process. And for the first time, twice as many named generative AI as their most meaningful source of information than named anything else. More than your website. More than your product experts. More than your sales team. Before your best SE walks into the room, a machine has already read everything you published, extracted the claims it could verify, and handed a short list to the buyer. You were not there for that conversation. You will never know exactly what it said. Most of the industry response to this has been about visibility. Get the machine to mention you. Optimize your content for AI search. Show up in the answer. That advice is not wrong. It is just aimed at the wrong problem. Because the machine does not read the way a person reads. A person reading your demo fills in your gaps. They watch a polished flow and assume the product underneath is as smooth as the walkthrough. They hear you say the integration is seamless, and they grant it, because you seem credible and the screen looked clean. They infer. They extend credit. They are, in the kindest sense, easy to move. A machine does none of that. It reads what is on the page, pulls out the claims it can verify, checks them against everything else it can find, discards what does not resolve. It does not feel your production value. It is not swayed by your delivery. It does not grant you the capability you implied but never showed. It reads literally. The demo that wins the room can lose the machine. The flourish that makes a person lean in is, to a literal reader, noise around, a claim it will either confirm or drop. This is not the first time the reader got harder. Analysts read demos for 20 years, and they read them hard, because the job was to score what was real and ignore what was staged. A good analyst could be impressed, but you had to earn it. Then buyers started reading the same way, bringing procurement in earlier, bringing technical evaluators who had seen the same demo 15 times from 15 different vendors. They could be charmed, but the bar moved. The machine is the next reader in that line, and the least forgiving of them all. It never tires. It never extends the benefit of the doubt. It never lets the story stand in for the proof. Here is what most practitioners miss about this. They hear it as a threat to craft. If the machine cannot be charmed, then polish is dead. Narrative is dead. The whole art of the demo gets reduced to a compliance exercise. That is the wrong read. The literal reader did not invent a new requirement. It raised the stakes on the oldest one. What it rewards is coherence. Claims that are explicit, stated outright, not implied by a smooth transition, evidence that is attached to the claim, not just asserted near it. A story that holds together when you pull on any thread. That has always been the standard for a demo that proves what it claims to prove. The difference is that people let us slide. A warm room, a good presenter, a screen that looks finished, and the standard quietly relaxes. The machine will not relax it. Coherence was always the standard. The literal reader is simply the first reader honest enough to enforce it. If you have been building demos that are true all the way down, where the claim in Section 2 connects to the proof in Section 3, where the feature the script promises is the feature the product can actually deliver, this reader is the best thing that has happened to you. If you have been getting by on polish, it is the bill arriving. Now here's the objection I hear most often. This is just GEO with a rebrand. Generative Engine Optimization. Structure your content so the machine cites you. Get mentioned. show up in the answer. It is not the same thing. GEO asks how to get the machine to mention you. What I am describing asks whether what the machine says about you is true when someone checks. One is a visibility tactic. The other is whether your evidence holds when the buyer goes looking for the thing underneath the summary. And buyers do go looking. Forrester found that 19% said the AI left them less confident because what it returned was unreliable or wrong. They used the machine to build a shortlist, then turned to people, to peer networks, to hands-on evaluations to confirm it. An unreliable reader is not an argument against coherence. It is the strongest argument for it. Visibility gets you mentioned. Coherence gets you represented. The machine names you. The human validates you. You have to win both passes or you win neither. So what does this actually change about the work? The job did not disappear. The craft did not become irrelevant. The room still matters. The presentation still matters. The SE who can read a technical buyer and adjust mid-demo is still worth their weight. What changed is the sequence. For 20 years, you calibrated the demo for the person in the room. The machine was downstream. It might index your content eventually, but it was not reading your demo before your SE got there. Now it is. Which means the evidence your demo needs to survive the first reader has to be built into the artifact itself, not performed by the presenter, not implied by the production, not granted by a buyer who wants to believe you. 3 properties. Explicit. Every claim stated outright, not implied by a transition. Evidenced. Every claim attached to something that shows it. Consistent. Pull one thread, the whole thing still holds. Test it today. Take your best demo. Strip the delivery. Strip the production. Strip everything that depends on you being in the room. Look at the claims left standing on their own and ask whether they prove what the demo says they prove. What survives that strip is what the machine carries to the buyer. The rest was for the room. The room was always forgiving. The literal reader is not, and it is now the first one through the door. For the people who built their careers on the flourish, on the warm room and the confident delivery and the screen that looked finished, this feels like a loss. I understand that. I spent 12 years in those rooms. I know what it takes to move one. But the demo that moves the room and survives the literal reader is not a compromise. It is the standard the best practitioners were already building to. The people whose demos were always real are about to win the part of the fight that used to go to whoever presented best. The full argument, the research, the framework, the diagnostic questions, and the tool that scores your demo against this standard lives at thinkroot.io. Issue 7, The Literal Reader. If you want to know whether your demo survives the reader that cannot be charmed, that is where you start. Thinkroot. Think from the root